What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Van Chats on the Out of Bounds Network. I'm sitting here with Ashton Lambie, who I've had on twice. No, I've had on multiple times, but we've always fucked it up or
No, twice. Yeah.
we've done it twiise. So yeah. Well, one time it came out, and that was with Bike Flights. That was a little bit more PG. The other
Yep.
time was way like we had to toss it. Like we re-listened to it, and we were just
Well,
like,
Ronnie and Dan too.
oh yeah, I forgot about that one. So you've
Yeah.
kind of popped in and on the podcast a few times.
Yeah.
So
We
cool.
hang out a lot.
But now you're a world champion. So yeah, it's like the status is, totally lifted. And so yeah, like diving into that, how do you feel, man? Like, how does it feel? Like, how did it feel when you got back to the US? I mean, it's kind of like you're on vacation when you won it, but you're back in the US now, back to normal life. What does it feel like?
Feels good, man. Yeah, it's good. I'm still probably really jet lagged. Like I got in to the ranch at like 1 a.m. last night.
Ooh, savage.
After like a 24-hour travel day from Brussels.
Jesus.
So like I was a little blown out. But then like, this morning I was, we're kind of sorting through stuff and like tidying up the trailer, and like I pull out, my jersey and like the medal and the watch and everything, and I was like, holy shit, man, this is like, it's still here. This is real.
Yeah. So before we even dive into you winning a jersey, being some of the best cyclists in the world, and I know you are one of the best cyclists in the world, but let's chat about the trailer thing. Like, what's your 2 months leading into World Championships? What did that look like for you, for a living situation and a training situation? I feel like, a lot of people have some weird thoughts on what you did.
That's fair. I feel like that is usually people have weird thoughts about most of the time. No,
I think what I'm saying is I'm thinking that people think that you spent time at a track. People think that you slept in this luxurious bed and you were monitoring everything. Like what was your lead in? I mean, I saw you chopping fucking wood. Like a couple weeks before you left.
Yeah, I mean, there's always woodworking projects. Like I was doing, so I redid the door before Mexico, but I was redoing, there's like there's a window on the front of the trailer. And so there's like a fiberglass panel that goes over it. So, the window doesn't get broken when you're driving down the road. So I put a wood front on that. So that was the quick wood project. But yeah, I've been living with Christina in Montana at her family's ranch in a trailer we bought, and we're renovating. Yeah. And it's fucking sick, and I love it. And really nice being out here. Like her dad comes and helps work on stuff too, and like her sister and her partner are out here, so it's like real like close family vibe. It's super fun. There's good gravel out here, and there's no track. Yeah, I actually hadn't touched my track bike or a track since Mexico.
Wow, that's insane.
Like when I got in gate to do quals, that was the first time I'd done a gate start since Mexico.
Jesus. So yeah, so what did any of that cross your mind? Like what was dude, we're bike racers, and you're going to a world championship. I know it was your intention to win, but I think if you would have came away, second or third, just really if you rode a time that you wanted to ride, you would have totally just been just as stoked. I mean, yeah, you would have been kind of like, ugh, fuck, I really want that jersey, because I know that's something that you've always wanted. But what was your expectation? Like, because, dude, I mean, even me, like a lot of people thought Ganna was unbeatable.
Reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the, it's hard to have an expectation when it's a track you don't know. Like I'd heard from people that the track in Roubaix was kind of slow. And so I was like, yeah, I mean, like a 405 would be good. Somewhere in that, 403 to 405 ballpark would be good.
Yeah.
And I knew I was a little tired. Like I was a little tired after Mexico. Like that was a ton of stuff to deal with to make that happen and bring that all together. And like, it was a huge load off my back, but also kind of felt like it put a target on my back at Worlds. It was like, oh, okay, is this going to be a one-off thing? that, you had to create these magical conditions to do? Or is it like, no, this is really an actual world record? Like you're the best in the world. So, I mean, for me to go back it up was like, it was important. It was huge, but it also wasn't like, it didn't feel like it was pressure. If I would have gone and finished 10th, even talking to Christine about that, she was like, yeah, you could go and just finish 10th. And like, you're still the first person to go sub 4. Like there's no pressure. Just go fun.
That's 100% true, man. That is true. And so like, did any part of you though, like, I guess more or less just feel like, it was almost like, what's the point? Like, cause a lot of the monkey that was on your back was going 4 minutes. I mean, I remember you telling me before Hong Kong, like you were like, dude, I don't even fucking care if I lose the final round. Like, I just want under 4 minutes.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. And I mean, I guess not really. And I don't necessarily know why. Like, I felt like it was relevant and it was like, it was fun to go do that. And like, I was looking forward to the event and like an opportunity, I felt like I was coming in with good fitness. I felt like I had learned some things in Mexico and like learned a little bit about the training I was doing and like made some tweaks, and I was excited to see how that paid off.
Yeah. And so I guess diving into it a little bit more, cause Tristan Manderfeld, you've obviously lifted at his house and stuff leading into competitions when you didn't have access to certain things here in town. But, we were chatting and he said he was going through the comment section of like you going under 4 minutes, and like people were saying like, oh, is that altitude? It doesn't matter. Like, and this is before you're world champion, right?
Understandable.
So like, do you read, do you get those comments? Do you get those messages? Like, do you get hate mail? Like, how some people get, hate mail? Like, do you get any hate mail?
Very rarely.
I was about to say, because I feel like you're like one of the nicest dudes I know. And so like, it shocks me to see some of the hate on some of the articles.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like hate mail. I don't think people are just outright like, man, this dude sucks eggs. Like, I think it's the one I always see, and everyone thinks it's like an original joke, is when people are like, oh, I bet he'd go faster if he shaves his mustache off. It's just like, yeah, whatever, dude. I don't think that's okay.
Yeah, that's actually pretty funny. So did you also know that there's supposedly a tandem that went under 4 minutes in Tokyo?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, who was that? Because I was told that too, because we all thought you were the first man to go under 4 minutes. But like, nobody made a comment about this tandem, and I just kind of want to give him some love on the podcast. But obviously, it's kind of cool that you know that.
Yeah, because it's a Paralympic thing. Yeah. So I mean, I think
was it the Brits? Don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, but okay. Well, we know that there was a tandem that went under 4 minutes.
There was a tandem.
Because that was a part of the hate, like, comments, right? So like, the first solo man, we were reading through all these and I was like, these are hilarious. Like, I wonder if Ashton sits down and actually reads some of these, because it's like 50-year-old dudes that think they have education like Dan Bigham.
Yeah.
And don't ride. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that makes it even better.
And maybe some of them do, like,
yeah,
there are other aerodynamicists besides Dan.
No, for sure. But I'm saying like, you go and look at it and it's like, a dude who, doesn't ride a bike or is like, it's just weird. It's funny. It's listening to it. It's like, and we can go down that realm a whole nother time. So anyways, what was going, because you had to ride, what was it, 3 or 4 rides before? So Jonathan Milan rode before you. So you knew kind of that was going to set the standard. Kid's good. I mean, European champion.
And he rode a fast time for us. I think he rode about the same, like a 4:05.
Yeah, and he kind of rides like Ganna, I think. I think he like steadily picks it up, right?
No,
or no?
The opposite.
He's the opposite? Okay.
Yeah, he goes like, kind of fades.
Okay, because when I was watching Euros, I thought I saw him kind of generally trail it back, but that's the only time I've ever seen him ride.
It could have been. I didn't watch Euros. That's he went out hot and faded a little. Both rides in Roubaix.
Yeah, and then So when you saw him ride, like what you knew that was probably the standard, right? But you still had 6 guys to go. So then when you saw Ganna go and qualify third, what went through your head? Like, how were you feeling?
It was about like, I would imagine the same sort of just like general shock as like when you would throw a toaster into a bathtub or something. It's just like, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I texted Chris. I was just like, oh shit. Like, not only am I in the final, like, there's this other guy, I'm 2.5 seconds up on him. Like, that was the first point I was like, oh my God, there's like a real chance I could pull this off, or pull this on in this case. But like, I was like, oh shit. Okay. Wow. Like, it just wasn't something I really thought was going to happen or thought could happen until that point.
Like, I'd have lost a lot of money. I'd have lost a lot of money if I put
Dude, me too. I was like cheering for Ganna because I was just excited to see him go sub-4. I was like, this is gonna be awesome. I gotta watch this. How cool is this gonna be?
And so did he go? I didn't look at the times. Did he go out hot, or like what happened there?
No, I don't know if like I guess I didn't ask him about it specifically because we chatted after. But yeah, it was like, you know, he started off pretty slow, which he typically does. And then, you know, he just kept ramping and ramping and ramping. But then, yeah, he, you know, like on the screen, you can also watch and they show where the ranking is, right? When they're doing at the UCI events. And it was just like, you know, 10th, 6th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd. And I was like, oh shit. Like, he's just, that's it, you know? And it's like, until the last 2 laps, because you're like, I know this guy can ride like, you know, 13 fives for like the last 2 laps. Like, how much time is he going to cut off? And it just wasn't enough. Like, I don't know if it was just, he just ramped it too late or just started too slow. I don't know.
Yeah. And so my question is, would you have felt different if Ganna qualified? Let's say Ganna qualified the same time with Jonathan Milan. So he's in second. So you're still 2 seconds up. How would you have felt? Would you have felt different going into that final?
Oh yeah, I would have felt like he was saving some in the tank and he was just going to absolutely full send on the final.
Yeah. No, that's interesting to think about because, you know, I was wondering if maybe he was saving some in the tank and it just went wrong.
Yeah,
but in the final, it didn't look like that. So
no, I would agree. And it's also like, that's such a risky move, man. Like, you know, in the way the IP brackets work, like the qual is everything, you know, you can't, I think if you train to be able to back up a qualifying time, like if that's a thing you factor into your training, like it's such a waste of time. Like everyone fades, everyone loses a little bit. Like, you're going to be so much further ahead in the rankings if you qualify for the medal rounds than if you just go like, oh, well, I qualified 5th. And then I can back it up the same pace later. And it's like, well, that doesn't matter. You need to go fast once and then see what happens the next time.
For sure. Yeah. And so you come from this unconventional background of grass track racing. I mean, we even saw Jim Miller did a post like, this guy called me 5 years ago and told me he was racing on the grass track, and look at him now. You know, what would be your advice to somebody who wants to get into track cycling but maybe might not be near a track, like, and they want to do what you've done?
I mean, yeah, I would say focus on the things you can control, you know. Get to a track when you can. I mean, if you feel like that's your limiter, if you feel like your power is your big limiter, I don't think you necessarily need to be on a track. Obviously, like,
no, I mean, you've done it. So
how many more hours of track time have you had in your life than I have, you know?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I've had loads more of track time than probably you've had.
100%.
Which is kind of crazy to think about. Yeah, and then so I guess going forward, you're newly crowned world champion. What does this look like for Lambie, next year? I mean, I think, yeah, I think it was a big year for you this year, and you really put a lot
It
of
was.
emphasis. And like, so what's next year looking like for Lambie?
Next year I've really kind of outlined big plan for gravel and adventure stuff. We'll be going down to Arizona for the winter with the trailer. So we don't have to winterize it. Yeah, and then kind of hit out around there for a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, just kind of gravel exploring, try to do a little bit, get more on like the regular gravel calendar. Hopefully do, actually like try to do a proper ride at Unbound,
In the
like
200 or 350 or what?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's always funny
The
talking to
350
you.
is the only distance I haven't had.
Well, it's always funny talking to you about this, like, every year. I think we chat about this every year. And
We do.
And I, I always wonder, like, when are you going to try to go for the 200 again? And because I would love to get you back on the podcast again if you won the 200, because I would love to know if you got more publicity from winning the 200 or winning a world title. And I just think that would be really interesting, because
that is really interesting.
I got third place in the 100, and I got more publicity from that than anything I've ever done.
Period. Really? Wow.
Absolutely. I had sponsors, and part of the sponsors that are part of this team came from that result.
Yeah. Are you going to do the 100? You're going to do the 200.
I don't know. I mean, if I can get in.
Yeah.
Like I have to play the lottery game, I think, still.
Oh yeah. Are you doing Mid-South?
Yeah, I got in with that. But I got in through the fact that I didn't show up last year, so like they gave me a code and everything.
Yeah.
And
same. I just registered for that today.
Sick. I'm going to do that like pretty much once we get off this podcast. So Bobby, we are coming and we're camping and
we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
man,
it should be good.
Sick.
Yeah. So yeah. So 200, 350, any idea?
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards the 350. One of the things me and Chris have talked about is doing PBP, Paris-Brest Paris.
Okay.
It's this famous brevet in Paris. You ride to Brest and then you ride back. But it is in 2023. And so I think a lot of next year might be like doing brevets and doing a whole series to be able to qualify for that event.
Wow. So you have to qualify. So what's a brevet for people that don't know?
It is an unsupported, like just solo long distance ride. So the way it works is that you have to do like a certain distance. So say like a 200K is the shortest event, and you have to do it in a given amount of time. And it's not a competition. Like it's just about completion. So I think a 200K, they might give you like 10 hours.
Wow.
And then basically you just have to, they come up with a route, and there's all sorts of qualifications to have it as a route. So it's like, not heavily trafficked, good stops. Other people have to have ridden it before, so you don't get shit routes, which is really nice. And then, yeah, basically they give you a little piece of paper, because it's a really old school discipline for some reason. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
They give you a piece of paper, and they have like, 5 different places, addresses. And it's like, okay, you go to the Quick Trip on this corner and you do it. Some of the newer ones have GPX files, but a lot of them just give you you download a printed cue sheet, and that's how you follow it.
That's awesome. So can we see you at the likes of the Arkansas, what is it, the High Country, that they do
hopefully
every year?
Yeah.
So it's like 1,000 miles.
I would be down to do that.
Because I'd be interested to see if you can beat Ted King's FKT on that thing.
Me too, man. Yeah.
So
yeah, that'd be super fun to do like some 24-hour stuff.
Yeah, well, that's going to be like 96-hour stuff.
Maybe that too. Yeah.
So,
I don't know how long it is.
Yeah, it's 1,000 miles, I think, and it's I think he has the FKT at like 4 hours and 4 days and 16 hours. So yeah, it's pretty stout.
It's fun, man. I really love doing brevets. I did it when I was in college.
Oh man. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. I don't think a lot of people know like your riding background. And
I'm 30. I've been riding for a bit.
I know a lot of people think that you just like found a track bike and you're like, oh, I race bikes. These are what bikes are. And they don't know the fact that you rode across Kansas in 24 hours or whatever the fuck it was. And had the record on that. And so, but anyways, and so, yeah, so past that. And so gravel, doing that. And so you're going to be doing it with the gravel knots, right? Same partners for the most part.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we'll see you at the Rift as well, I'm assuming, with Lauf.
Hopefully, we both love to go back to Iceland. We had a blast there.
Sweet.
Anyone who hasn't been to Iceland, you should book a ticket right now. It's fucking awesome.
Well, I think
it's so cool.
I think that race like sold out in like, 20
Dude,
hours.
even if you didn't get in the race, just go to Iceland. It's amazing.
Right on. Yeah. So I have one question for you though. It's, a lot of people think they're sponsors. A lot of people think, they're coaches and whatever else. If there's 3 people and I know that there's more than 3 people that you can thank and like had a pivotal impact on this. But to keep for time's sake, and just so you guys know, if your name doesn't get mentioned, Ashton, and you helped Ashton in some way get to this title. Like, know that
there's a lot more than 3 people.
There's a lot more than 3 people, but I want to give you the opportunity to name those 3 people, give them some love, and why. How did they impact? And I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot a little bit with this one, but but I would love to know what you would have to say, and like, like, who do you think, like, it wouldn't be possible without these individuals? Like, if this individual did not exist, you would never won a world title.
Oof. For sure. Obviously Christina. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's hands down, she's the first person I call when I get off the track.
Yeah.
She's the one, talking me off the ledge in between finals and in between quals and finals, and like, set me up, texted me the whole time. Like, yeah, man, I lean on her a lot. And that's for her, having been there before is huge. Yeah, she's like my number one supporter, man. It's great. It's good to have a good teammate like that.
No, that's awesome.
I'm trying to. I feel like it's a 3-way or 4-way tie.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like Gary Sutton.
Yeah,
he's a women's coach and sort of de facto men's coach, but he's sat me down so many times since Berlin last year, and he's like, look, you can beat Ganna. I know you can beat Ganna. And it's like, even on the days, just to have someone of his caliber and his history, and like, he's seen a lot of people ride bikes and do a lot of on bikes. And for him to say that, it's like, damn,
maybe I can do this.
Maybe I can.
Yeah.
I think I probably can. The other one I would say, the coaches I've worked with in the past, Ben Sharp and Chris Delasega. Yeah. Like, both of them, I'm coaching myself now, but I've worked with both of them for years. And I just learned so much from both of those guys. And I think the fact, like, what makes them both such good coaches is that, like, I've learned from them. So I worked with them and I've learned from them, and can still like achieve this level of success, from what I've learned from them. Not like, oh, they're just giving me this training and I'm just following it blindly, like, which I can do, but I don't learn anything, and I'm not invested in the process. And so for them to be able to like teach me stuff, and also like give me, incredible programming that gets me to the level that I'm at, and like explain to me why it works, and like teach me how to be an even better athlete,
No, that's awesome.
That's huge. It's an incredible skill that those guys both have.
No, that's awesome. And guys, if you, again, if you're listening to this podcast and you believe that you should have been one of the people that was named, know that you probably were being thought about, but I only gave
You were.
3. And so, yeah, it wasn't, you weren't getting named today because I don't have time to listen to the 80,000 people that have helped Ashton.
There's a lot of sponsors.
Yeah, get to point B. And that's why I said no sponsors. Like, I don't want to hear about Zip, Shram, you know, fucking Lauf. Like, we know that they've supported you. We see that shit, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. And especially with the 359, I can't wait until there's a documentary being put together, right? Or like, can we even talk about that? Or was there videos with Zip that I heard about? No podcast.
Is there?
I don't know. I thought that's the whole reason why they went down. I don't know. Maybe I heard a rumor. It would have been cool if they did one. Yeah, well, there you go, Zip. Hire me as your marketing manager, and I would have put that together. So
it was just no. I think the only video we got was the live video that Christina took.
Oh wow, yeah. And see, I thought they flew videographers out with you to shoot.
They only flew it. He just did photo.
Oh yeah. See,
yeah,
that would have been dope if they did a video, like, because I think that's the coolest thing of Bigham's Hour. Is the behind the scenes reel that they just released. Have you seen
maybe
that?
I'd be the only person that doesn't like video. I would prefer photos all day.
Well, photos are great, but like seeing the process and the artistic motion of what you go through to set up for an event like that, like, I think it's great. I think it's great that you went under 4 minutes, but I want to see the panic that you had the 24 hours in between it. That is Fair. What I want to watch. Like, I wanted you on the podcast for that moment, but I know that I would never have gotten you to talk to you for those hours, you know, because you were probably running around like a chicken with your head cut off.
I know. I was actually, so I mean, we got done. You know, Christina was like, all right, I know you're not stoked about that. Like, get your recovery, get out of here. Let's go and chill.
Yeah.
And then, dude, the rest of the evening was like, I mean, because that happened at 3. And so then, you know, we basically had the rest of the evening. And so it was like, okay, a little bit is going to be coming up with the plan for tomorrow. What didn't go well today? And what are we going to change about tomorrow? And that was all, like, that was Chris leading the whole time, man, you know, of like, okay, I don't think this went well. I don't think this went well. I think we can do this better. And if we do all these things, that's 2 seconds. And if it's not, you still executed those 3 things better. It was ride the black better, fix the gate because the gate was wonky, and pace it better. Like, go out on schedule the first 2K.
I feel like the first 2 thing, or the first thing and the last thing, you've heard multiple times.
100%. Yeah.
Ride the black better and pace it better. I think Dan's told you to pace it better and you can't ride the black, right?
Both of those things have gotten better though.
Yeah.
Because enough people have told me enough times.
Yeah.
But then after that, yeah, man, I just spaced out and played video games. Like, drank a beer. Just
so fucking
I also
bad.
drank the night before IP before Worlds. Yeah.
Did anybody look at you weird when you did that?
No, I mean, I went out and got a like a Donner sandwich and just like had a little beer with it.
Yeah. Well, you do that every night. We've had this conversation. Like, you're a beer night, and yeah, we got some whiskey on the way to you. Some rye whiskey.
Yeah. I forgot about it. I'm so excited.
It's on the way. I gotta send gin to Meredith Miller. I gotta send some more whiskey out to Guy Nelson in Pennsylvania. So I'm doing like a 3-way order. So it's good stuff. But yeah, man. So I don't want to keep you all night because you're about to cook some steaks. And again, I'm so thankful for you to come on.
Dude, thanks for having me. It's up.
But one last thing, you know, we do this all the time, and you've answered this question several times. But if you could have a cup of coffee with one individual, who would that individual be? Why would you have coffee with that individual? And what would your coffee of choice be?
Ooh.
Especially as a newly world champion. Like, that's kind of interesting.
Can I give the same answer? I don't know that my answer would change from last time I was on, and then we ended up ditching the episode.
Well, yeah, give that same answer, dude. It's not like the world heard it.
I still haven't had a cup of coffee with, and still would love to have a cup of coffee with Graham O'Brien.
Graham O'Brien. And you've never met him, right? Like we had this conversation.
No.
Yeah, I think I even asked you on the last podcast because I was kind of drunk. I asked you if he was still alive, and I think he's alive.
He is. I looked it up. I was a little drunk too. It's okay. That was hot.
Yeah. So we still have time to clip this out and send it to him in an email because I think he would be down to have a cup of coffee with you.
I hope so. I would just get like a regular coffee, you know?
Yeah, just Americano. Just sit down for.
Well, pumpkin spice season is over on the 30th.
Do you think it ends on the 31st?
Do you think it doesn't?
Yes, I don't think it does.
When do you think it ends?
Christmas
Thanksgiving?
Day.
What? No. That's too long. Honestly, I love pumpkin spice. I'm getting a little burned out on it. I've had plenty. Dude, I've been on it for like a month, man.
Dude, you just blew up the podcast like that, man. Like you just, because like that's like Ted King coming on here. That's like Ted King coming on here and be like, I love a good barn, but I'm just tired. I'm burnt out of it. It's like Santa Claus coming on here and being like, I'm tired of giving toys to little good girls and boys and whoever.
Yeah, he has to do it 1 month a year. That's what I'm saying.
That's a good point.
Like I like to condense it and just absolutely binge on it. Just eat pumpkin spice everything for a month, 6 weeks maybe, and then I'm done. And then by next year, I'm ready for it again.
So after the 31st, if people are still tagging you in pumpkin spice bullshit, you're not posting it.
I mean, I probably will.
Yeah,
it's still funny. And then I will, if I don't repost it, I'll save it for next year and I'll try to track it down next year.
So are you like a gingerbread latte kind of guy too, or no?
No, once pumpkin spice is over, I just go back to
coffee,
just black coffee.
Well, pumpkin spice watts are a thing, and we now know that. And so pumpkin spice latte, unless you have a coffee with him in a week. So, or a week later. So anyways, man, thanks again so much for jumping on the podcast. Guys, I'm going to put the link to his social media down in the description below. You're probably already following him, which is why you're listening to this podcast. But if not, hey, no worries. But other than that, we'll see you next time, guys. Yep. And cheers.